Hello, 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 everybody. It is Kate Weatherwise, your favorite weather girl, coming to you just after midnight Eastern Time on November 25th. It's still in November 24th for the Central Mountain and Pacific time zone. Now, I'm coming to you with an interim weather forecast for this travel week of Thanksgiving because there's a little shifting going on. There's a little bit of an update that I wanted to give you. Of course, as you move closer, the last forecast I gave you was on Saturday, and as we move closer and further into time, as into the week, things tend to shift. Things do shift with the weather. So I just wanted to give an update. And so I talked about this on Saturday, the potential for thunderstorms and severe weather in Texas today. And it actually did occur. We had some tornadoes that did form and touch down in Texas. Right now, overnight tonight, the people in Mississippi and Louisiana are experiencing some severe weather. They have a tornado watch. So I'm going to take us over to the radar currently to show you what's going on. This red outline right here is showing us where there's a tornado watch. And as you can see, this line of storms coming through the Louisiana and it's going to heading into Mississippi as well. It came from the Texas area, which is where there was some tornado activity today. Now, this is a line of storms. There's probably not going to be supercell and individual strong tornadoes within this line. However, there will be spin up tornadoes, or they're forecasted to be, because the conditions are right for these spin up tornadoes, especially up here to the north. You can see the heavier precipitation, and I'll zoom in here as close as I can go. And let's take it to some velocity. Now, this depicts, I'll set it in motion. This depicts where there is conflicting winds, inbound winds and outbound winds. And the inbound versus outbound confliction, that designates and lets you know that there's some twisting of the wind, that there's some activity up in those supercell clouds that could help to form a tornado down at the surface. And I do not see, I can see this line right here. This to me tells me this is some wind, some really heavy wind that's coming through. There was a little bit of a color change here between red and green, and that lets you know that there's some wind variation inbound and outbound, which could create some twisting, but that has kind of dissipated. That was down here. This looks like a straight line wind here. This up here, again, some straight line. I don't see any competing winds or conflicting winds or competing winds through here. So I don't necessarily see any tornadoes forming right at this moment. I'm going to turn it back to reflectivity mode. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any later tonight. So this whole area where the tornado watch, they have a tornado watch going on until, let's see, 6 hours and 43 minutes from now. So 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So Tuesday morning, that's when their tornado. So it's overnight tonight. I don't think people in this area are going to get much sleep tonight. So that is unfortunate. But this is the area to look out for going into the overnight hours. So I'm going to pull this back out a little bit, and you can see this whole area where there's yellow. That means there's a strong chance for severe weather. The green goes out even further, and that gives you an indication of where they're experiencing, or where they could experience some strong to severe thunderstorms. So this is going to be an issue for the next 12 hours or so. Now we're going to go over to, this is a satellite imagery right now that it will animate here in a minute. And I wanted to show you on satellite, or the infrared imagery. This is nighttime infrared imagery of these clouds. You can see it, they were in Texas where they produced some severe weather and a couple tornadoes, and moving into Louisiana. into southern Arkansas. These cloud tops are blowing off and into Mississippi. So this is clearly depicted. This weather back behind it is pretty stable, and it's creating, calming winds, calming weather, and probably chillier temperatures that are moving in. So now we're going to move over to the temperatures that we're seeing right now for the U.S. and the whole U.S. It's pretty warm and juicy down in this area, except where there's been a lot of rain. And this is depicted right here where there's purples, which is cooler temperatures. The oranges and reds and yellows are warmer temperatures. Right here where there's been some rainfall, it's a lot cooler. But back behind it, out in front of it, it's still really warm. And then, of course, behind it, up here into the northern states, it's a lot cooler. So now we're going to move on to what's going to happen this week. Updated from my forecast on Saturday. Now, we're still in a pretty decent warm pattern, except for the upper parts of the United States. Up where I am, it's starting to cool down. We're actually going to see some snow up in here tomorrow. So if you're traveling into the Pacific Northwest or the Northwest, the weather's going to be yucky. That's been my term, especially if you're going over any mountain passes in Idaho, Washington, Montana. You're going to see snow. You're going to see snow tomorrow and into Wednesday, as we'll see. But down here in the warmer parts, right now it's looking pretty benign. Into California, all of the Southwest looks pretty benign. These thunderstorms that I talked about with the severe weather down in Texas and Louisiana, Mississippi, all the way up into the the Mid-Atlantic, you're experiencing a nice high pressure, so not even much in the way of winds. As we move forward in time, this low pressure moves through Montana and into the Dakotas, and there's rain out in front of it, snow on the backside. This system continues to move east, and it's going to bring in some more thunderstorms and rain and all of that into Kentucky, into Tennessee, into Alabama, and it'll keep going towards the East Coast. The East Coast, you look like by tomorrow night, you're going to see some rain, and then that moves out for the day into Wednesday. If I go back a little bit, this low pressure system is coming into the Dakotas, moves east into Michigan, and then rain on the front side, and then as the low moves into Canada, back behind it, that's when you are going to see some snow form, some lake effect snow, some system snow, and some wind that's going to push in behind it for your night tomorrow, Wednesday night into Thanksgiving Day. You guys are going to see snow. And this is like perfectly positioned low with some wind that's going to bring in some pretty large amounts of lake effect snow in the UP of Michigan, lower northwest Michigan, into Canada over here, and then down into northern Ohio, and then northwestern Pennsylvania into New York State. So all you guys are going to see snow for your Thanksgiving Day. That is assured, and that hasn't changed at all. But as you can see, this ushers in some cooler weather for the rest, down to the Mid-Atlantic, down into North Carolina, and then back behind here, it's still pretty benign. Like I mentioned on Saturday, the front end of Thanksgiving into Thanksgiving Day is going to be the yuckier weather, and then the backside of Thanksgiving weekend looks to be a little bit better. Although you guys in Texas and Oklahoma, again, could see some rain and thunderstorms as we move into Saturday morning. And then this system, oh my gosh, yeah, this is going to be a good system for weather producing. Rain and thunderstorms again into Texas, up into parts of Illinois, central and southern Illinois, and then snow on the northern end. You guys, this is going to be system snow, so no lake effect snow, except for probably after this low passes, then the lake effect snow machine will kick back in again, and then this is going to, by Sunday morning, fall up. This is as far as we're going to go. So Sunday morning, this system is still heading east, but it sort of falls apart a little bit. There'll be some wind left over. There'll be some lake effect snow on the UP of Michigan, down in northwest lower Michigan, but not a ton to speak of. And then back out west, you see a little bit of snow in Colorado, high pressure builds back in over Montana. So you guys are just going to be cold, and see these purple lines. It's going to be cold and stay cold for the foreseeable future. In the western half, the dividing line right here in the central part of the country, north and west, except for California and down into to Arizona, New Mexico area. But from here north, winter is going to be setting in. It's at least going to be chillier, and we're looking at temperatures becoming more normal for this time of year, more chances for snow and all of that. So that's what we're looking at for your Thanksgiving Day. Like I said, Thanksgiving Day looks decent for most of us. There will be some snow in the northern parts, but most of us are going to see some decent weather, okay weather, not for me out here and not for the Great Lakes region, but for the rest of the country, you don't look too bad for Thanksgiving Day. The days leading up are going to be yucky over here and kind of yucky over here too, but not bad for traveling wise. And then definitely keeping an eye on the Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Louisiana corridor of the nation, because this is where they are seeing some thunderstorm activity, some possible tornadoes, which there were some tornadoes today. There's tornado watch right now, and there's going to be a couple more chances for some thunderstorms to pop up in the coming days as well. But I will forecast that out. I will come back and do more updating as the week progresses, and then we will move into snow mode for a decent part of the country, except for the southern part. So that's it for now. I hope you have a good Tuesday wherever you are, and I will be back with more updates. This is Kate Weatherwise saying bye for now.